I guess welcome to Michigan for the people that haven't been here before. I am up in the northern part of Michigan. If we can, yeah, I guess we can see that. This kind of small print down here, but that's Detroit down here. I live up in the northern part of Michigan. It's a resort area where everybody comes to play, and I get to live here, and great place to live, and we love it here. What we're going to do now is hollow it out. And what we're going to do first is we're going to drill a 5/8 inch hole all the way through into the waste wood. Okay, past where I know the globe is going to be. So that's going to be one end. This happens to be, I think, 1/2 inch, but I'm going with 5/8 today because that was the fortunate bit I picked up. So there's going to be a smaller end on one end. Then I'm going to drill a larger hole. This is a 1.25 inch hole in the other end. And this is to allow my boring bar system to get in there and hollow easily. But it also is just an easy way to manage this. Much of the wood is being taken out by the Forstner bit. I haven't really drilled here in a long time in any of my IRDs. I don't know if any of you have seen me do any drilling. But so we're going to talk about the drilling process a little bit. You've just seen me using a handheld drill many times by hand, but we need some precision here. This would be some of these drilling techniques might be useful for salt and pepper shakers or something like that, where you have to have some accuracy. So the first one we're going to drill is that 5/8 inch hole, and I'm going to use a little pointy tool here, just a little scraper, to make a reveal in there just a hair bigger than the drill. Okay. Hopefully, we'll test it in a second here. What I'm judging is the width of this is almost 5/8 of an inch, so it's going to be very close to that size. All right, now we're going to bring our drill up, and the whole idea here with that little recess is that the drill will seat itself into that hole before it starts drilling and keep it on center. When you start to drill, any drill is going to want to wander a little bit, and it always will wander, but we can minimize that wandering if we start with a little shoulder there to begin with. And I'm advancing it very slowly now into that shoulder. Oh, I made it perfect. It's my lucky day. I don't have to go back and do it again. Okay. So now it's running very true. It's not wobbling at all. Part of it's because I started with that shoulder. All right. All right, I want to show you something else here over on the right-hand side of the camera. Look at this. This is worth the price of admission here. If you're doing any drilling at all, what I did is I drilled a drill hole. I put the Jacobs chuck in. I drilled a drill hole right on through here and put a pin in it. Now I don't have to hang on to it. It's not going to spin. I can pull it in and pull it out. I don't have to worry about it pulling out of my Morse taper. This is huge in the drilling process. Now, when I drill that hole, it's not precision. I'm not a machinist, so it's not perfectly centered. So I just have to mark that which side is up if I turn this around 180 degrees, the pin won't go in because it's not perfectly centered. So once you drill that drill hole, mark it so that you know which side is up, and then the pin will fit. Now I can drill in and out, in and out, in and out. I'm not going to have to worry about this ever spinning or pulling out of the Morse taper. All right, so let me see where we're at here. I'll measure this. I'll go down in there at least 2.5 inches, and so I'm going to go right down to this. That's about 2 3/4 inches. I'm going to just go as far as I can with it. So I guess see if this camera's any better or different. All right, there we go, in and out. Don't let it stay in there too long because the shavings are going to heat up and start to grab it. In and out, in and out, in and out. So I go in about 1 inch at a time here and bring the shavings out with it. The small Forstner bit isn't kicking the shavings out very far. Alright, now I'm well beyond the bottom of my globe. Okay. Now, as I found it in my vendor showcase event, this sucker is hot. Shut the lathe off before you do something stupid. There we go. Now I'm going to put 1.25 inches in here. And how far do I need to go? I'm okay. All right, tighten this down. Now I'm going to do the same thing, only I want to be a little more accurate this time because this is where my top is going to seat it on here. I'm going to mark this 1.25 inches. Is right about there. All right, now I'm still going to make that little taper. So that the Forstner bit will seat. Before it starts grabbing. Nope, I didn't do it big enough. Now I don't have, for all you woodworkers out there, you think, well, that center pin of the Forstner bit is going to help me stabilize it so it doesn't wobble too much, and that would be true if it was a solid surface, but that center now is gone, so that center pin's not going to help me. Very slowly start up. There we go. All right. Now, here's where we need some precision. Now, as this curve comes down here, this is where it's going to sit on, well, not sit on the table. This is where the bottom of my, usually this is the bottom of a hollow form, so it's going to sit on the table there. This is going to be the bottom of my globe. If I measure this from the center point to here, 1.25 inches the center point down to here. So that is where the the top or the bottom of the globe will be, not at the junction of the waste wood, but up where the red line is. Now, I want to leave a wall thickness in there, and this is going to, this corner here is going to intersect with that bottom radius. This is going to have a small hole, so all of this wood left over here is going to have a thickness to it. And so we want to make this relatively thin here so that the ball is light. And so the accuracy of bringing this drill hole down to where it belongs so that it makes the wall thickness thin down here. You can't be too thin, so you've got to be really accurate in your measuring. So I'm going to measure down in here. That's just a hair over 2 inches, 2 inches and a 1/16. All right, so I'm going to go here, 2 inches and a 1/16. I'm going to go right here. Can you see that in the camera? Yeah, we got I use a crayon or a grease pencil to mark on it. So that's where my depth is going to be. And now I'm setting up how thick that wall thickness is by the depth of this cut. All right. Get the shavings out. Now that's a good place for the camera. You can look right down there and we can see exactly where I'm slowing down now. Go right to that red mark, okay? So now this could be helpful for other kinds of drilling, I hope. Let's go back to this large opening here. People might be a little bit put off by this large opening, but it really, I don't think, makes a lot of difference. If we make a cap that fits on there at a reasonable size to the vessel, or we make a finial that fits on there as a reasonable size to the vessel, that big hole is going to be covered up. It's not going to make any difference. The little hole is also going to be covered up in a larger base to the finial. So it really doesn't matter that there's a pretty large hole here. We're just going to make the finial base just a little bit bigger than that so that it covers that up nicely. But it doesn't matter that the hole's a little bit bigger. If you really want to make a smaller hole, you just have to use a smaller boring bar, and I've got that. If you want it, or other people have it, is a little 1/2-inch boring bar that can get in and out of Christmas ornaments too, and into a smaller hole if you want to. So you can do a smaller hole if you want to, but I choose to use a larger hole because it's easier to hollow, it's faster, quicker. You can make a nice uniform wall thickness with the laser. Everything works great in and out with the little, and I can use the laser with the smaller boring bar too, but the laser is a critical part of making this nice and light and thin. So I don't think the big hole is a design distraction. I think it works fine. Most of the time the finial's going to be the size to fit that anyway. If you like the kind of teaching I do and the details that I get into, come back and see me again. Do me a favor, if you will, and talk about this on your Facebook page or to your club members. Put it in your newsletter that this stuff is available for a real reasonable price, and even the vendor showcase, even free events that we do, and point them in our direction.